Tonight was an exciting night of Champions League action. It wraps off what's been an incredible first leg so far. Tony, just give me your thoughts quickly before we go to the highlights.
Yeah, some great games. Bodø Glimt, I think, is a story here. Of course, we saw some drama yesterday, and some we liked, some we didn't like. But, yeah, this is what Champions League is. This is why we love this competition so much.
Well, I'll tell you what we also love. We also love some presence on the ground because Nico Cantor, usually you're in the studio with me, my brother, but you seem to be, I would say, getting your air miles up as you travel to Norway. So give me your biggest takeaways as you saw the excitement and this historic night for Bodø Glimt.
What's up, boys? Hey, I just watched a great game of football. That, to me, is my takeaway. The stadium, to be honest, it's almost like League 2. There's only like 2 teams in League 1 that have a smaller stadium than this. But let me tell you, this is no League 2, this is no League 1. This was Champions League football, baby. The way that Bodø Glimt played against Inter, nonetheless, technically, they were great. I'm really interested to see what you guys think about the game because I was impressed, but the manager, not so much. He would have liked more from the performance. He's happy for the result, but he didn't think the performance was great.
Yeah, Nico, I think the way that they attack Bodø Glimt is fantastic. The interplay, the way, the little overs, the little flicks. They're just a selfless team. How was it to be there and watch it? Me and you speak a lot about how football has lost a little bit of its soul. When you watch this Bodø Glimt team, it feels like it gives you that joy back again.
Yeah, for sure, this team does have soul. And you know what? The community of Bodø really understands the team. So it's kind of like they feel those moments. Off of a loss, their counter press, right, is very good. And the community, everybody, because, right, it's not that many people. It's 40,000 people. And here there's like 8,000 people. So a lot of the city is here. They feel that moment, right, when they lose the ball. So it's like heightened. And it's incredible to watch because the team then reacts. And you would think that would be the case of a stadium pushing somebody on with 50, 60,000 people. There's 8,000 people here, and they're all into it. There's belief, and they know that they can get it done, but they're not arrogant about it. They know that they're greater than the sum of their parts, and that they need a full collective performance. So it's incredible to watch. Honestly, we fell in love with Bodø Glimt from their Europa League run last year, and we saw how nice they played football, and just watching it in person was a privilege to see.
Nico, my boy, ¿qué pasó, man? Did you swim over to Bodø? I find you like you're going to fall asleep. And then I hear people cleaning in the back. Tell them you're on TV.
You're working, Nico.
Bro, hey, it's because to be honest, I was in the flash interview zone and I was being Nico Cantor, right? And bro, the Italians and everybody and the people here in Norway, they're like, shh, mix zone. So I'm trying to behave. I'm trying to get my invitation back, Grell, to Norway. So hopefully now that everybody's cleaning up and I'm the last one here, I can still be my animated self. It's also midnight. Just about 12:06. So forgive me, Grell, if my energy's a little bit low.
Nico, we sent you all the way over there to do interviews and give us a taste of Bodø, but I'm hearing in my ear there that you're like become a superstar there. You're doing interviews. What's going on here?
I lost the tone.
We have you doing interviews here. What's happening here?
Oh, seem to have lost him.
I think he's had enough.
That's what happens when you're a star in your own right? When you're on this influencer package, he's on a world tour. I've seen him do Morocco and Norway this year. All of a sudden, the checks don't clear, and he says, look, enough's enough. You got your 5 minutes out of me, and that's it. But he did make some interesting points there, which I thought was...
They were like, tell us about your dad.
Oh, no.
I think accountability...
What's he like?
Accountability seems to be a conversation that Bodø Glimt are having all the time, and nothing seems to be enough for them. So is that a good mindset now that they have the bigger challenge of now going away?
Yeah, for me, I think it's...
Is that Nico calling?
I don't know. Maybe that is Nico calling.
Maybe that is just Nico Cantor calling.
Try Grella's phone again.
We'll go to Bodø. No, I think it's a wonderful story, right? They play football in what we would consider the right way. They're free-flowing. Yes, it's on AstroTurf. They don't make excuses. They play to their community, but also it's really good football that they play. The intricacies from the front man to the wide players, one comes short, 2 run in behind, their little overs, it's really good to watch. So it's a great story. I do think it's still all to play for at the San Siro, because when you go to grass, all of these different elements play into Inter's favour. But to think about it, they haven't played since November a proper competitive game in their league, because now they're in their pre-season getting ready to play again. I just think it's a wonderful story that 3 or 4 of their players will move on in the summer. It's a fantastic story.
I feel like this is the unfortunate part of looking at a success story like this, is that when you see this free-flowing football, unfortunately it does attract some of the bigger clubs within Europe, and some of the football that Troy alluded to has been sensational this year in the Champions League.
This is no mistake. Look, 3-1 is no mistake today, right? You look at the interchange that Troy's talking about. This is something you see in training, right? When you're playing like we call them double 18s, 36-yard, where you're getting tap-ins at the back post, right? Like this is by design. And we can make all we can try and rationalize the turf and a small stadium and the most northern team in Champions League, and they deserve to win today. Period.
Absolutely.
I'm with Troy. This thing isn't over in San Siro, but you got to give them credit today. They look really good.
Nico, here we've re-upped on the subscription to yourself, so do you mind giving us a last little line in terms of your takeaways since you were halfway through it last time?
Aquí estoy, papito, in the Arctic Circle. I'm still alive. Can you guys hear me? Give me like a thumbs up. I'm not sure.
We can. Double thumbs up.
There we go. What's up, guys? All right, now I'm
Nico, we're just
back,
asking.
the delay is pretty bad.
Nico, we're just asking about you getting interviewed.
I love everything you guys are saying. It's awesome to see the way that they play football, and I do agree that it's all to play for in San Siro. We've seen this team win very well here and then struggle away. Maybe this time it's different, but just understand what they've just pulled off. Norwegian football hasn't seen Champions League football in the knockout stage for about 2 decades at this point. Bodø Glimt was a team that was trying to stay alive in the second tier. They would drop to the third, come back up, an elevator club, up and down, up and down. And then 5 or 6 years ago, they took this like very big mental switch with the CEO of the club. They decided to kind of like restructure the way that they were coaching, and they just became a dominant force. And now they're playing Champions League. Rosenborg is the biggest club in this country. But to be honest, I think if you ask anybody right now outside of Norway, name me one Norwegian team, it's Bodø Glimt from this tiny little town of 40,000 people. The club has put this city on the map. So pretty incredible.
We appreciate you, Nico. Safe travels home, by the way. Please make sure that you get as many interviews and pictures and everything else. And go to bed, man. It's 12 o'clock. You've done enough today.
I'm buzzing. I can't go to bed, bro. Are you sending me to bed? I'm going to go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. There's so much to do still. I'm going to go out in Bodø tonight. Surely there's a party somewhere.
No doubt about it. Grella, Nico made some incredible points there, especially about how historic this night is. But now I think about automatically to the second leg. So how do they replicate this? How do they manage to go to Italy now and manage those expectations and demonstrate they are the better team?
Their weapons, so a lot of teams' weapons are like intensity or defensive or organized. Their weapons, technical ability. Every single player there, I wouldn't want to be in training there and play in the rondos there. 100% you don't touch the ball in the middle. You're in the middle, season tickets, you're in the middle for 20 minutes, because every player can play with the right foot, the left foot, inside of the foot, outside of the foot, long ball with both feet. They understand where the spaces are. So I think if they go to San Siro, it will be difficult for them. It will be intimidating. But if they keep the ball and hit on the counter, kind of like what they did to Man City when they played them earlier this season in the Champions League campaign, I think they have a shot for sure. They'll go in there favorites to qualify, I'm assuming.
This is not a flash in the pan, though, because they've done this against Man City, they've done this against Inter, and now Atletico as well. So they've demonstrated that they can go and manage these types of occasions and really demonstrate as to who they are overall, Tony.
Yeah, and that's why I said this shouldn't surprise us, right? We've seen this, and I think what we see in this competition every year, we see it during World Cups, we see it, the difference between teams and players is a lot smaller. Look, of course, we're so EPL-centric. We watch the top 5 leagues, but there are good players all around the world, right? Now you, as Nico said, you have this mission. You're going to change the way you do things. Look, how many years at Roma, right, in Serie A, 5 or 6 years? This is a guy that can play, and we're seeing a group of players put together. As you say, they have a style of play. They know who they are. They're very technical, and you get results like this. I mean, I think it was the second goal today when they were picking Inter Milan and the little flick in the box. Like, That's intricate stuff. That takes a lot of time. So credit to them and the manager Knutson, right, for putting this group together and giving him an identity, and then the players carrying it out.
Yeah, I think as well, just to that point, when you think that the manager's not happy with the level of performance and they won, that should give you confidence as well. But I love the selflessness of this team. Tony alluded to it there. They're training ground goals that you're seeing. But to do that in a game, a striker going through 1v1 and then go, you're in a better position than me, you go and score. That's worked upon. That's an ethos that goes from top to bottom. It's not about me, it's about the team, and who's in the best position wins. I think they're in a really good place. I do feel the San Siro might be a little bit too much, but it makes for a wonderful game in the second leg.
Well, no doubt about it, Christian Chivu has a lot to manage in terms of going into that second leg. Another thing that he has to manage, of course, is the injury to Lautaro today. And you can see in terms of his comments after the game, now we take stock. We have a few issues after this game in the 3 days. There's Lecce, of course, and Lautaro. The question mark is there. In my opinion, we've lost him. He's injured, and that's it. There's no others in terms of the problems that we have, but we've lost Lautaro. And it means if Lautaro's injury is there and he's speaking about it so prominently, as you can see from the quotation, it seems like it's pretty serious. I want to know how they manage this now, because even though we saw Marcus Thuram come off the bench, which is not a bad option to have whatsoever, we speak about inter-squad depth all of the time. But Lautaro seems like he's that little bit of magic player. He's that little bit of a difference. How big is his absence going to be?
Lautaro's a good player. He's one of the best in Serie A for sure over the years, but he's been inconsistent in the years past as well. They have unbelievable depth on the bench. They have Boni, Pio Esposito, and Thuram. That's more than enough. That's more than they had last year when they almost won the treble going down the stretch, like they had an opportunity to win it. So I understand Chivu is going to make it a big deal, and it is a big deal. You're losing one of your captain, your story player, but they have, for me, they have plenty of depth to get the job done. And just to go quickly back on Bodø is, we talk about this team, we talk about the Northern Lights, and it's a cute little team, cute little town, the turf field, this. They're ballers, serious football players there. All 11 of them, including the goalkeeper, can all play with both feet, all technical, all understand the spaces. So they're killers. The game is moving modern to more physical and more power and more transition. These guys they're not big, they're not huge, they're not strong. Look at them, the frame's small. They're so good at mastering the football and mastering the spaces that makes them so fun to watch. And we keep looking at it as a small team, and yeah, okay, fine, maybe by the budgets and everything else, but they're a team that you have to be very scared of. They've beaten all the big teams. They've been really well, and like Troy says, the goals that we saw tonight, I don't see any team in Champions League, any team in the world scoring those types of goals at the highest level.